promises if you don't quit, if you don't give in, if you continue to trust him, amen, that he will complete what he has started in your life, that he will have the final say in your life. God says for you and me, what I have started, what I have begun, I will bring to completion.
Some of the stuff that it's going to be hard, so I want you to pray. There's going to be said today for you, things you've never known, so. I was just like, God, I'm tired. I don't want to live anymore. Either today I'm gonna kill myself. I want to die. I don't want to go to prison. I'm tired of drinking. I'm tired of using drugs. I'm tired of going to jail. I'm just tired. So in 2010, I was pretty much at a point in my life where I would say this was, a point that I just didn't want to be at. Just got arrested for aggravated assault on a police officer, and during the court process, they recommended that I do a year in prison. So, because when I got arrested that night, I was intoxicated. I checked myself into rehab class, and I was doing these classes, and it was an all-day thing. And I remember that I was just like tired. I was tired of this life, of in and out of jail, pretty much being homeless, living with my mother, living with significant others, just living wherever, and, pretty much being a slave to crack and alcohol. And I remember I was sitting in that class, and leading up to that day, I knew about a church because my cousin came here, and she would tell me about it, and I lived by the church when their location was somewhere else, and I would drive past it, I would go past it, and I would see, and the name stuck out to me. Like, oh, Fire and Water, wow. But I never went in. I would see it, and my cousin came, and she told me about it. She's like, it's a really awesome church, and I'm like, yeah, okay, one day I'll go. I remember one time I was drinking. I went to the store, and I got a 40, and I went home and flipping through the channels, and Fire and Water came up on TV, on TVN, and I went and I sat in front of my TV, and I was just so, like, I couldn't change the channel. I just sat there drinking my 40, weeping, and I don't even remember what was being said, but it just made me so emotional, thinking like, I want that so bad. And I just knew, now I know that I was supposed to be here, that it was a process. I think it was like 2007 up to 2010 that, it was me being invited, me seeing it on TV, and then even to a point where I even told God, okay, I can't go to church because I don't have a ride. So I came out the Circle K one day, had a 40 in my hand, and right when I stepped outside the door, Fire and Water bus drove by. I was just like, oh, you funny, okay? So you know, all these things, signs and you know, that I should have came. So that was the church that came into my mind that day when I was sitting in rehab class, and I was just like, God, I'm tired. I don't want to live anymore. Either today I'm gonna kill myself. I want to die. I don't want to go to prison. I'm tired of drinking. I'm tired of using drugs. I'm tired of going to jail. I'm just tired. So I would say about a good month ago at this point, that from this day, I'm in the church. I'm just here. I come and never sharing with anybody, never asking for help, that I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with addiction. I'm struggling with lust. I'm struggling with anger. I'm struggling with unforgiveness. And I'm still coming to church. I would go to the altar and I would ask God, help me take these things. And I would ask him to take them, but I could never let him go. Never. Because now I see it's because it's all I've ever known. It was comfortable. This lust and this addiction, this unforgiveness and this hate, this anger, that's all I ever knew. I remember just leaving that class when it was over, and I just walked to the bus stop. I should have went across the street, but I stayed on the side of the street, and I came and took the number 10 bus, and I came, and I remember crying, and I was just like, Lord, either you're gonna save me or I'm gonna die today. And I came, it was overwhelming when I entered through the doors. The door opened, and I was just like, I thought I was in heaven for a minute there. I was like, what is going on up in here? All these people, they're like, yeah, clapping and hugging me, and I'm crying. And nobody was looking at me like pity or anything. They were excited to see me, and I was just like, this is weird. This was awkward for me. I came and I sat all the way in the back, and that was the day that I encountered Jesus Christ. I met him that day. I mean, it's like really, it just has to do with the past. It has to do with prostitution and just kind of where God has showed me that when it was introduced to me, I was introduced to prostitution. I was shown how to walk on the street and pretty much be preyed upon at 13 years old, 8th grade. I pretty much, they call it your first trick. And, I was just this little kid, just completely sheltered up until this summer when I was 13, and I seen my sister, and there was actually other girls that were living in our house, and they were my age, and she would go out with them. They all went out, and when I went out walking, and I met this man, and I don't know, but for some reason he just knew. And he asked me if I wanted to have sex for money, and I was like, okay. And he took me somewhere outside and did what he needed to do. And my first trick, I got paid $10. So I believe that was the moment that everything pure, anything pure, anything innocent inside of me died when I seen that $10 bill. I felt so dirty. I felt so worthless, and I felt so unworthy as a human being, even up to the age of a month ago, feeling unworthy. And I smoked that $10, and that was the moment that I completely got so much hate inside of me, because I felt like God created me to suffer. When I was smoking that $10, I remember I could literally see that crinkled $10 bill in my hand, and going to the dope house and getting me a piece of rock and smoking it in the bathroom. Everybody's smoking on my dope, and that was the moment that everything died inside of me. It's not been the same. Not, man, my life has been extremely drastically changed since that day. You know, and I struggled with God. I struggled. I fought him because all I knew was that life of violence and alcohol and addiction and homelessness and manipulation, and that's all I knew. So 6 years has been a process, a process that I'm grateful for now, because God has he's never left me. He's never given up on me. I've turned my back on him. I've cursed him. I told him I would never serve him again because of things that happened. I said I would never serve you. I would never love you. I would never praise you. I would never raise my arms to you again. And he never left me. I know he was there because he told me he loved me. Let it go. One thing that God is doing, he showed me is to release. And I know that it's easier said than done to, you know, you hear people say let go and let God. It's like, how do you let go of something you've known your entire life? How do you let go? How do you move forward? You know, and I promise you, that was one of the hardest things I had ever done, was to not only know that I carried unforgiveness, that I allowed lust, that I entertained it, that I flirted with lust, and I flirted with addiction. I flirted with these things, that I wanted them still, that I held them. And it was the hardest thing for me to say, okay, I'm tired of walking in circles. I'm tired of this cycle. I'm tired. I'm so tired. To the point that, you know, I'm in church and I don't want to live. So I encourage you to just ask God to help me release these things to you. Help me release these things that are not of you, these things that are keeping me pretty much from being with you, pretty much of being intimate with you. So I encourage you to ask God for help, because that's what I did. It's not easy, but the moment that you ask God to help you let those things go, then that's when you will see amazing, amazing things. What keeps me coming here is the fact that when I shared with people here at the church at an outreach that they were having, and I was here, and I'd only been clean because I kept going, you know, I kept using and coming to church, and I wanted to be here. I wanted God, but I just didn't know how to let go of my past, those things. And I was only clean for 4 weeks. And I, one of the pastors here, you know, we were having a little circle, you know, just getting ready to pray and go and invite people to church. And one of the pastors asked, does anybody have a praise report? And the first thing that popped in my mind was, you've been clean for 4 weeks. And I was just like, I'm not sharing this, you know, because for me, that was shameful. I felt like people were gonna judge me. I felt like people were gonna look down on me and pretty much, you know, not let me go outreach, not let me cook breakfast for the outreach. And so I never shared these things that I struggled. And that day, by the grace of God, it was God that was there. He helped me. He gave me strength to raise my hand and just say, I've been clean for 4 weeks. And just this overwhelming applause, and you know, just people were just like so excited. I looked at everybody's face and they were so happy. Like, that was a good thing. And to me, it was bad that I had only been clean for 4 weeks because I had been in the church for 6 years. And so I was just like, whoa. And afterwards, when I stopped talking, people came up to me and were hugging me and were, I'm so proud of you. And this is something that I had never gotten, that being told that I was doing a good thing, that they were proud of me. And that just blew me away, because all my life, all I had known was religion, you know, and, you know, you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna go to hell for what you're doing. You're a bad person. The things that I was doing was worse than what was being done that was unseen, you know, and that's why I come. That's why I love the heart of this church. I love that you come into this place and you see ex-gang members, you see prostitutes, you see strippers, you see, you know, it's, wow. I love that. I love that this place is in the heart of the ghetto. And it's welcoming. Those places, the rehabs and the projects, they want you here because they know that Jesus came to seek and save that which was lost. I was lost, and I get so much love here from the people because they've been where I've been, and they know that Jesus is real and that he loves us. That's why I come. So I really didn't want to do anything. You know, I just wanted to be, I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be heard. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. But I was asked if I wanted to be a part of the media team. And I got excited because I wanted to take pictures. I wanted to capture moments inside of church, you know, and I said yes. And I'm just like, so I serve in the media team. And I also go on the outreaches when they have outreaches to go out into the neighborhoods, into the projects, and pretty much I've been going to all the places that I used to run, the places I used to kick it, and invite people to church. I even knocked on a place that I used to go get dope from and invited the person that lived there now to church. And I help at Resurrection Ministries. Go and love on the homeless. And I started going to Watkins, which is a women's shelter here in Phoenix. And a couple of the people go over there and they have service for them every other week. So I go there just to love on people and to, you know, if I get to share, then, you know, that's awesome. And yeah. That's me serving and God allowing me. I think it's a privilege and an honor to do anything for God. So I'm grateful for that. We're not alone here within His love. Emmanuel, He is still with us. When the
Lift up your hands, receive it now. You're in the presence of the Lord. Mercy is falling, falling. Lift up your hands, receive it now. You're in the presence of the Lord. Praise You know, right now God's telling me and He's showing me something that some of you here are trying to figure this out. You're going to miss what God's going to do right now because you're trying to figure this out, right? It's not about figuring out what He wants to do. It's about letting Him do what He wants to do through you, right? We all have baggage. We all have our past. But what are you going to do right now in this moment with Him, right? That's what we focus. I want to sing that bridge again. I want you to close your eyes and just focus on Him. Forget about what you did last week. Forget about what you did an hour ago. And just trust that in His presence, there is an ability to change if we're willing to let it, right? Because God's right here and He's touching some of you. I can see it right now. And He's telling you right now that some of you are hurting and you need to let go of some things, right? I know your past is broken. You can move